everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a seasonal chakra reading for each star sign. So as we're going into September, obviously the autumn period, this will cover September, October and November. And basically what I'm going to do is put the chakra stones in a bag, and then I will pick one out, and that will obviously tell you what you need to be focusing on regarding your chakra over that season period. So the cards I'm going to be using for the readings, which obviously I've premeditated on the cards as I normally do for most of my readings, are the Colette Baron Reed cards. I've got the Good Tarot, the Enchanted Map, the Wisdom of the House of Night. Those are all Colette Baron Reed's decks, and obviously I'll put the links below. And then I have the Universe Has Your Back deck by Gabrielle Bernstein. Those are decks that I've used in my previous readings. I've also got the Moon Goddess Affirmation by Terry Foss, and these are lovely cards which I will be doing as a random pull at the end of the readings. And then for the animal medicine cards, because obviously it's to do with chakra and what you know, the influences around you, I've got the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit by Kim Kranz. So this is the first time I've used this in my readings. And I've also got a new deck which is Whispers of Healing, which obviously ties in, I think, with the actual chakra readings, and that's by Angela Hartfield. They're quite big cards, these are, and the artwork, as you'll see as I go through the readings when I pull this card out, that's associated with each sign. The artwork is absolutely beautiful, and the artwork's by Josephine Wall. So that's what I'm going to be doing with these readings, guys, for you on this occasion. Like I say, they are sort of seasonal chakra readings, so I'll be doing one for winter come December, which I'll be through for December, January and February. And then obviously I'll do the spring ones, which are March, April and May. And then I'll be doing the summer chakra ones, which obviously are then June, July and August. So that's just the quick outlook on explaining what these readings are about. So now I'm going to be reading for my lovely Capricorns, the next chakra reading I'm doing. And obviously these are the chakra stones. And if you're not aware of what the actual chakra system is, it's basically our internal energy flow, meridians that just keep us well, really. And these chakras can get blocked, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link below so it'll explain it a little bit more to those who are not aware of what the chakra system is. And then obviously depending on which one I pick for you, Capricorn, will interpret the reading that I've done, because obviously I've premeditated on the cards so that I can allow myself to do my little bit of poetry that I've done on the end, which is on this card here. So I'm just going to place that there out the way and read that later in the reading. So first of all, I'm going to just pick up the chakra stones. I'll just go through them quickly. We've got the root chakra, the sacral, the solar, the heart, the throat, the third eye and the crown. And like I say, the description below will explain which one controls which area of our body. So I'm just going to quickly put these into the bag, and then I'll give them a little shake up, my lovely caps, and just have a look which one's going to be coming out for yourselves in this reading today. These readings obviously cover the 3 months. Like I said, it's the autumn period, guys. I'm just going to have a little quick delve in and have a look what we've got. And we have the crown chakra. You're the first one, guys, out of the whole of the people I've done so far that's had the crown. That's quite interesting. So I'm going to start to turn over the cards to have a look then of what we've got here for the lovely Capricorns for the month, well, the season actually, of autumn. So the first card, guys, is the actual energy that you've been dealing with over the summer season, summer period. And the first card I've got is the sea serpent. So I'm just going to place that there. Now looking at that straight away, that to me is someone who's shed a lot of tears, and you've so tried to protect yourself over the last summer period, the last couple of months, 3 months. I just feel that you've cried that many tears over something, and obviously I need to open up the reading as to why. Yeah, that's quite significant to me, because I just feel this is an eye here. Get my words out. This is like the pupil of an eye, and coming out, emanating from the pupil. I just feel that these have been tears, a lot of tears, Caps, that have been shed here, and I need to find out why that is. So I'm just going to turn over the next card, and I've got Beauty. Now then, this is not going to resonate with everyone, and this is going to be a hard reading, because when I was meditating on these cards, I did have sort of a spirit energy that was surrounding me when I was reading these, and therefore I do feel that this chakra reading, because picking out the crown chakra, it's obviously this period of whatever it was, and I'm picking up, I do feel it was the loss of somebody. The Capricorns that I'm reading for on this chakra reading have actually lost someone to spirit over the last couple of months in the summer season, and the energy that you're coming in with the animal medicine card is showing to me all the tears and the grief and the hurt that you felt for the loss of this person, because they were your everything basically, and having the rose there, that signifies to me obviously that the passing over into spirit, the beautiful person that, you know, they were the pinnacle of your life. They kept the whole family together, and it was just such a loss, a tragic time, such a heartache. I just feel that this person were taken way earlier than they should have been, and I do feel, I'm picking up here that they were sort of very late 30s going into their early 40s, so that's why so many tears have been shed, is what I'm feeling. And like I say, when I was doing and meditating on these cards, I did have a spiritual entity around me, and I do feel it was a female. I do feel it was a female that's passed, and like I say, the tears that have been shed are for this person in spirit, and it's been a hard thing for those affected to deal with. And that's why the crown chakra's been picked for you guys, because going into the autumn, there is going to be a bit more clarity, and the tears, you know, the person that's passed over to spirit are basically saying, you know, you've shed enough tears for me now, please don't cry anymore, because I am here, I am still around you, and as sad as it was for me to pass over, I couldn't have carried on with the illness that was affecting me. You know, I as much as it was such a heart-wrenching thing at the end, to break that silver cord, to pass over into the spirit and leave all my loved ones behind, there's no way that I could have carried on in that body that I was in. And that's the message that I so needed to pass over to the Capricorns that can take this on board. I say it's not an easy one, this one, Caps, for me, because I know that there's been a lot of heartache and a lot of tears. So I'm just going to open this up a little bit more, and we've got deep freeze. And basically what it is, when this person passed away, your whole self, your emotions, you just felt numb, you just felt frozen, you just thought that everything had just literally come to a stop, and you didn't know how to carry on and find the strength to carry on and be the supporting rock for the people who'd been left behind and affected by the loss of such a beautiful person. But as you go into autumn, there's a slow thaw coming in now to say that you've done your grieving, you've shed enough tears, and spirit, the person who you've lost, would now want you to carry on and pick up the pieces and live your life. They want nothing more for you now and those who they've left behind to start enjoying their life, because they do not want you to be shedding any more tears for them. Just know that, you know, as I said, there's no way that they could have stayed in their body with the illness that actually it took them away from the earth plane. You know, but now that they're in spirit, that they've freed themselves from that body that they use for the purpose for being here. And just know that they're, you know, in the spirit world, they take none of the illness with them. And their soul is, that, like I say, that their soul is just taken on to the next higher plane, and that's where they are now. And it's just a message to say that their spirit is still around you. You can't see them. You may have sensed them. I'm just saying, some of my Capricorns may have sensed the person that they've lost. But like I do say, I do feel it's more of a female connection here. So I'm just going to open this up a little bit more, Caps, just have a look. And we've got the High Priestess. Now this to me is the actual person in spirit. Even though you can't see them, because there's like a veil here, you know, on this card there's like a veil, and this veil is between the spirit world and the world that we are in, the people who are, you know, have been left here on earth in the physical 3D form, but they are so close. And like I said, they've been watching, and obviously it's saying to look out for signs, because obviously when spirit pass over, even though, you know, we should still talk to them though they're here. And I do feel that some of my Capricorns, you know, have you know, still talk to their loved one who's passed over, but know that they are still around you. But they are just basically the message that they desperately want to get over to you is, you know, you've cried enough tears now for their passing, and you know, you did go through this where everything just felt frozen, you felt numb, but no, that spirit is saying to you, the loved one that's passed over, it's time for that thaw. It's time for you now to move on, because that's what they want you to do, is move on with your life, guys. So I'm just going to read the next card, and we've got, when I think I've surrendered, I surrender more. And this is basically saying, when we lose somebody, our feelings are all over the place at the start, and like I say, you just feel numb and frozen, and it's hard to surrender to the actual reality that we're not going to see this person again. But then, you know, we get to our feelings and we say, yeah, okay, I'm coping now with this, or I'm accepting this. And then it's just to say that it's time to truly accept that, you know, that they have passed over, and it's time to surrender that little bit more now, to know that they are around you, that they are, you know, they are listening to when you speak to them, but it's just their wish. This to me is like a wish, because obviously it's the dandelion seed, and it's like spirits are just wishing now that for you to stop the tears. The thaw is slowly starting to come in the autumn, and they basically want you to get on with your life. You know, you'll always remember them, and they'll always be around you, and the part that they played at that time in your life, where they were here, whether they were a sister, a mother, a niece, an aunt, whatever role they played for whoever they've left behind here, just know that they are still around you in their spirit form, and you've always got those memories to cherish and to carry on. So I'm just going to open up the next card for you. It's quite hard reading this, Caps, as you can appreciate, and obviously I'm just feeling you know, the hurt that whoever's been affected by the loss of this beautiful person. And like I say, I've got a female who were sort of very late 30s going into their early 40s, who was taken by an illness that really, like, you know, at the end they just quietly slipped away, but they'd been in a lot of pain, and that's why they're saying there's no way I could have stayed in the body that was there left. There was nothing left, and that's why they had to cut the silver cord, as I call it, because you hear of like near-death experiences, don't you? And the people who've had the out-of-body experiences, there's a silver cord that attaches our soul to this earth plane and to the spirit world. And they say when anybody has got a really, you know, suffering with illness and their soul actually comes out of their body, they tend to look down at themselves and think, do I really want to go back in that body? You know, because I'm not going to be used to anyone, I'm going to be a burden, and that's how they feel sometimes. I'm going to be a burden, and it's the kind of thing to do is to sever the cord and go on to the spirit world. And that's what I feel here. If they'd have stayed in the body they were in, they would have caused so much, there'd have been so much hard work for the family, for caring and everything else. It was easy for them to release you from all that burden, and that's what I feel like the message is. They wanted to release you so then you can get on with your life, because you'd given enough up of your whole life, and you would have done, you did it because you loved them. And anybody who looks after anybody who's ill does it because you know, that it's their duty. They feel they have to do it because they love them out of love. So yeah, I'm just going to open this up a little bit more. And I've got vibration here, and this is again, I feel this is the person that's passed over, who are trying to lift you up now, lift your vibration up and say, look, you know, I am here, I have passed over, I'm still around you. Look out for the signs that I'm still here. And like there's a butterfly here, and I do feel like the butterfly is like a sign from spirit, along with you know, the robins that we see in the garden as well. So, and like the feathers we see on our, you know, outside our doorway or wherever. So it's just saying, you are going to be lifted. Spirit, you know, the person you've lost is going to rise your vibration now. So not to shed these tears. You know, you've shed enough tears, but know that they are actively around you. So it's just to say, look out for the signs. And continue to speak to them, guys, as though they are here, because they can hear you even though, you know, you can't see them. So you came in, guys, like I say, with all this emotional tears for the grief of this lovely person that's had passed over to spirit. And it's saying that you're going to be going out as the hawk medicine spirit. So this to me is just like, you can, as I said, get your life back on track. It's giving you the wings to fly again, because like I say, you've been totally frozen, numb from this sense of loss that you've gone through. But know that at the end of the autumn period, you will have collected the strength, and you'll have that energy to continue forward, and that is what spirit want you to do. You need to go out of this darkness now. If you can just see here, this is the stages of grief. The first stage is obviously the dark stage, you know, of when they've passed, and then as time goes on, the feelings get a little bit, you know, a bit more acceptance. Like I say, you surrender a little bit more in the acceptance that you know they've passed over. And it's just saying by the end of autumn, the end of November, you are going to be flying and leaving this grief energy behind, because that's what they want you to do, guys. And picking out the crown chakra, this is about like I say, it's consumed your headspace, all this grief has, which obviously, of course, it would have done. And at times, you know, you've felt so low and having no direction or anything like that. But just know that going through the autumn, your head is you're going to get some more clarity, more clearance in your head, and like I say, you'll be able to go forward into the winter period, having the acceptance that this person, is still around you. Just take that on board. That's the message I desperately want to pass on. They are still around you. Look for your signs, look for your messages, still talk to them, and just know that they don't want you to put your life on freeze. They do not want you to, because they passed away at such an early age, they would want you to continue and live your life. And if that's, you know, finding another relationship, you know, they would embrace you totally for you to do that. Don't feel that you've got to, you know, put your whole life on a freeze now, that you'd feel that you would be unjust to their memory, that you could never love someone else, and you couldn't love anybody else like you loved them, because that was the love for them. But it doesn't mean to say that you can't love somebody else in the future, and they're open arms for the fact that they'd want you to continue with your life path. So I'm just going to give you a quick read now from the Moon Goddess affirmation cards over this. So yeah, like I say, Caps, this is a hard one. It's been a hard chakra read for you, because it's not going to affect everybody, this read. It's not going to be, you know, there for the collective. It's only going to be there for the person who can take on board this significant loss of, like I say, I feel it more of a female, really, that came to me on this reading, because of the age as well. They were only sort of very late 30s, 38, 39, into their early 40s with this illness. So yeah, let me just have a quick look at the card, and I've got this one poking out, so I'm going to take that one. And we have, I already know the answers. So this to me, having the skull there is a symbolisation for me of the person who's passed away, you know, death. And it's just saying you've gone through the phases here of grief for the loss of this person. But their spirit still burns. It's still here around you. And as much, like I say, you've had all these questions going round in your head of why did this happen? Why did they have to take her? Why, you know, why such a good person should have had to have suffered like that? You're asking all these questions, but you already know the answers. And as hard as those answers were, that's what I'm picking up there, Caps. But just please take on board that they were so ill and so poorly towards the end. There's no way, like I say, as much as they loved you and they knew the hurt and the grief that was going to be caused when they passed over, they just could not come back into that body. They just released you and released themselves, and that's what you've got to remember. They've gone on now to do greater things, but their energy and spirit is still around you, and they want nothing more now for you to stop these tears and the grief and the thaw to set in, so that you can go along now towards the end of autumn and get your life back on track and go and live your life, because that's all that they want you to do. So I'm going to read you now the reading, that poetry read that I did for you on this. So, and the songs, I had songs coming out to me when I was doing these readings, and the one that leapt out for me, guys, for you, was the song by James Blunt, Time. So I will put the link below for you to have a listen to that, that song by him, because I just thought it was quite poignant for this. But just know that they are still around you, and they will always love you unconditionally, and they just want you to spread your wings now and go and live your life. Right then, guys, I'm going to read you this poem now that I've written, and like I say, if you look underneath, there'll be a link there for you to have a look at the song choice that I picked, and that was Time by James Blunt. So I'm just going to read you this poem now that I've written, and it's got: many tears have been shed for one that's passed away. You have felt frozen in time with each passing day. Know the thaw is starting, a wish they want to see. You've grieved enough, time to live again and set your heart free. So that just ties up, guys, for this reading then, for this loved one that's passed over. And like I say, you are going to clear that headspace now, and you are going to surrender to the fact that, you know, that they have passed on, but their spirit is still around you. And look out for the signs, guys, that they are still around you, and take on board their wish for you now to move on and carry on with your life. So I hope, my lovely Capricorns, that you can take something away from you from this reading. As I said, it's not going to be for everybody, but I hope you have a more positive autumn period, and I look forward to reading for you guys on the next chakra read, which will be the winter one that I'll do at the start of December. So look after yourselves and take care. Bye then. Bye bye.